Okay, today we're going to talk about how to analyze and graph parabolas. We've worked with them a little bit, and you worked with them last year in Algebra 2. So first thing, we have two forms of an equation. We have x minus h squared, where the x variable is squared, equals 4p times the quantity y minus k. These, if x is squared, these open up or down. And when you're written in this form, it depends on this p-value, okay? If p is positive, it goes up. If p is negative, it goes down. That's if x is squared. The other thing that can happen is y is squared. So you have y minus k squared equals 4p times x minus h. These ones open to the right or to the left. If p is positive, they go to the right. If p is negative, they go to the left. Okay? Okay, and when I say analyze, analyze means we're going to graph and label the parts. So we're just going to start with one. We have 8 times y plus 3 equals x minus 4 squared. So this is our example. First thing you need to think is which variable is squared. So the squared variable is x. So it means it's going to go up or down. Okay? So, and if I look over here, I have an 8 here. Since that's positive, that means this one is actually going to open up. Alright, so first thing I need to graph is my vertex. And we talked about this the other day, but the vertex is the h and the k. So my h goes with x. My h is positive 4, because remember we always use the opposite, negative 3. That's my vertex. My p-value, that's really what we use to graph a lot of things that we need that aren't really part of the graph. The p-value goes here, so we have 8. So on this one it's very easy to see that p is 2 because 4p equals 8, right? So p is 2. Alright, what I like to do is I like to just go ahead and graph them. So I have 4, negative 3. That's my vertex. That has to be on the graph. I even label this with a little v. Then what I can do is I can say, well, p is 2. So if I come up here, I know this opens up because this is positive, so I have to go 2 above the vertex. And if I go 2 above, that's where my focus is. And then if I go 2 below, I should have a directrix. Well, my directrix on this one should be horizontal. So this is my directrix. Sorry about my non-straight line. So my directrix is the equation y equals negative 5 because it's 2 below the vertex. My focus up here, that ordered pair would be positive 4, negative 1. Okay, so those are things when they say analyze, you have to tell them. Now, we also have the axis of symmetry, which since this is going up and down, the axis of symmetry goes up and down. The equation for the axis of symmetry, would just be x equals 4, right? That one would be a vertical line. The directrix is a horizontal line. Now you need to graph. Well, what I really want you to be able to graph and what I want you to do is, I know the vertex is part of this. We can't just sketch it in, but I'm not going to make you graph a lot of it. What I want you to do is over here somewhere, just make a little t-chart. Your vertex is at the point 4, negative 3. And this opens up and down. So pick a x value that's close to the vertex x value. So I'm going to pick an x value that's close. How about 3? If I plug 3 into my equation, I'm going to get another ordered pair. So if I plug 3 in there, so I'm going to plug 3 into this equation over here. So I'm going to get 8 times y plus 3 equals, if I put 3 in there, 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So negative 1 squared. So y plus 3 equals 1 over 8. So y equals negative 3 plus 1/8, which would be negative 2 and 7/8. Alright, so if I go to 3, I'm at negative 2 and 7/8, so like right about here. And you just kind of have to approximate. Now the cool thing with parabolas is this is a line of symmetry. So that means this point, 3, negative 2, 7/8 has to be the same on the other side. So 5 has to be the same as negative 2, 7/8. So I can put that other point there. Now that I found that other point, and you need to show me this other point that you find, now you can sketch it. I know in Algebra 2 a lot of times you had to find 5 points. We're okay with 3 for right now. All right? So we're going to try one more, and we're going to try one that opens left or right. So the difference is going to be, this time I'm going to have y plus 5 squared. My y value is squared. Equals negative 12 times x minus 2. So you still need your vertex. My vertex is still hk, so my vertex is still go to h by the x, so it's 2, negative 5. My p-value, which is going to give me my focus and my directrix, is, let's see, negative 12 equals 4p, right? So p is negative 3. All right, and then I'm going to graph. I'm drawing on my Mobi, so my graph lines are not very straight. So I'm at 2, negative 5. All right, so 2, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. That's my vertex. Now, which way does this open? P is negative 3. It either has to open to the left or right because it's a y, and so since it's negative, it's going to open to the left, which means my focus is going to be to the left of my vertex. How far to the left? 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3. My focus is going to be right here. And my directrix is going to be 3 in the opposite direction of the focus. So 1, 2, 3. And now this time, since my focus and my vertex are a horizontal line, my directrix is right here. Okay, and that line would be x equals 5. So that's my directrix. And make sure when you're graphing these you label. We know my vertex ordered pair is 2, negative 5. My focus would be negative 1, negative 5. So that's the ordered pair for that. My axis of symmetry would go right through here. So my axis of symmetry, that stands for axis of symmetry, is y equals negative 5. So I have everything except for my extra points. So I make my t-chart. But this time, since y was squared, I'm going to pick a y value because it's the squared variable. And y is negative 5 here, so I'm going to pick negative 4. So if I put negative 4 in there, I get 1. 1 squared equals negative 12 times x minus 2, right? So you get negative 1/12. Oops, I got to scroll up so you can see that. Negative 1/12 equals x minus 2. So x equals 2 plus negative 1/12, which is just 1 and 11/12 for x. So 1 and 11/12, almost 2. So when y is 4, x is almost 2, so right here. And that would be the same on the other side. So when y is negative 6, x would also be 1 and 11/12. So right here, and now you can sketch in your parabola. Oops. There you go. And that's what you're going to be expected to do. List all these things and make a sketch.